Welcome back to my channel and thanks for joining me. Today we are taking a look at the Mars Toys release, The Chocolate Man, i.e. Willy Wonka and an Oompa Loompa from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. When Mars announced this figure, I was absolutely thrilled. I love this film. I've seen this movie maybe 100 times, starting as when I was a child, and I could not wait to get it. But wait, I had to, because it's been about 3 years. But finally, we've got him in hand. Taking a look at the box, it's stylistic. It looks very much like a candy shop in the front with Willy Wonka standing in the doorway. You see flags on top, Mars Toys on the top, and their product identification number. On the sides, just one 6-scale collectible figure. On the back, an image of the figure Willy Wonka and the Oompa Loompa, and some warnings. The other side, just the 6-scale collectible figure sign again. Let's crack open the box, see what's on the inside. So the first thing you're greeted with is this slipcover, which is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Just nice, simple, stylistic writing like it was from the film. And under that, you have the clamshell with his accessories and the figure. And underneath the accessories, the other head sculpts and the Oompa Loompa. You can also in the distance see the golden tickets. Let's get Willy out and take a look at him. All right, first impressions, just turning around on the turntable. Proportions are good. Outfit looks accurate. The head sculpt is surprisingly pleasing. We'll take a closer look at that in a little bit. But he looks great. I have just waited for this figure, and I am so happy that it was worth the wait. This is another release that rivals Mars's 66 Joker figure with the amount of accessories and how good it is. We'll get into that in a second. But right now, let's take a look at the Oompa Loompa. Here he is, spinning around. And yeah, he looks like an Oompa Loompa. His Oompa Loompa proportions are good. And that's about all I can say. Now, Mars also offered separate Oompa Loompas, and I got 2. They came in this very simple brown box, kind of like a little Oompa Loompa coffin. You open it up, piece of foam underneath. Beneath the foam, the Oompa Loompa. They are identical to what you get with the Willy Wonka figure. What we're going to do now is take a look at everything Mars decided to give us. And it's a lot. And a lot of it is very scene-specific, just like their 66 Joker figure. Starting off, we're going to take a look at the life-size golden ticket you get. Here we go. Please ignore the man in the reflection. But it is shiny. It has the benefit of not having come in candy. Very plain on the back, but it is a good display piece from the front. You also get the 5 golden tickets the kids get. Again, just miniature versions of the life-size one. Highly reflective, very shiny, but again, the back is very simple. Taking a look at his base, standard hexagon base, crotch grabber, adjustable, rubber tips. The purple has got a bit of a texture to it, but the sticker, the Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory sticker, is very slick and smooth. No nameplate on the front, which is a little disappointing, and no stand for the Oompa Loompa. You get the mushroom top from the Pure Imagination scene when they are in the chocolate room. It's very well sculpted and really well painted on the bottom. I was kind of surprised. There's a lot of washes, a lot of different colors going on. The top is clean, and you can put his cane in it so he can dance around with the mushroom cap on his cane. Since I've got the cane in hand, we're going to take a look at it. It is made out of plastic, but it's well sculpted. There's a gold band separating the ivory, or what should be ivory handle, from the base of the cane. It's a very stiff plastic, so you don't want to break it. Moving on, you get the half bust from his office at the end of the film. It's, again, very well done. It looks like it's marble or plaster that was split in half. You also get the half magnifying glass that he uses to read the contract at the end. I love this, and I also love the fact that the handle itself is split in half, which is something that I never really noticed in the film, but it makes complete sense. I love that you get this. I'm a little sorry you don't get the contracts. You do get his hat. It's that deep, rich chocolate brown. The strap's a little bit lighter, obviously. It's well sculpted, and it does fit on the bust, which is where he stored it in his office. It fits very securely, and honestly looks really good on it. However, you cannot put the hat on the unhatted head sculpt. You get the little jar. I originally thought this might be fizzy lifting drink, but the fizzy lifting drink had a different top, so I'm going with the fact that this is from his invention room scene. Because you do get the spoon, which he mixes his drink up in, and you get the beaker of drink that he drank from. Now, the liquid in here, which is representing the liquid from the film, is a little bit redder than it was in the film. It was a little richer brownish red in the film, but I'm not really complaining. You get his flute, which he used to call the first Oompa Loompa you see after Augustus Gloop gets sucked up into the chocolate mixing room after he falls in the chocolate river. Pretty simple piece of plastic, but it's a fun addition. You also get the candy teacup, or buttercup, I would imagine, that he pulls off the plant in the same chocolate room scene. You get two versions of the cup, one with the bite in it after he bit it, and then one without the bite. The dish is very well done, detailed on both the top and bottom, and looks exactly like it did in the film. Moving on from there, you get chocolate bars, 5 of each, first starting with the Wonka bar. It's exactly like it was in the film. You've got the what would be tinfoil wrapping, and the thing that kills me is on the back there is printing. And if you're looking at that on your phone as opposed to a television, if you zoom in on it, it's all printed. The ingredients list, shipping, everything is printed on it. And the Wonka Scrumdelicious bar, also from the film. Same thing. Foil wrapping, same thing. Ingredients list and shipping information on the back. These apparently were shipped by the Quaker Company out of Pennsylvania, which is kind of funny. You get several sets of hands, including the relaxed ones that are on him. These are fists, gripping hands. They're all well done and well sculpted. I do wish that instead of like the generic fists, they gave us some scene-specific hands. He rested his face on his hand quite a bit in the film, and you don't have anything to do that with. This would be another gripping hand. It's actually a trigger finger hand, but of course Wonka doesn't have a gun. This is what I mean. They could have replaced those with some more scene-specific hands. They are well done, though. And here you have another set of gripping hands. The vein work on the back is nice. The paint work looks good. A little bit of rosiness on the knuckles. The wrinkling on the hands is good. There's just a couple other variations I would have liked to have seen. You also get his inventing room key. None of this moves. It's just cast plastic, but it's an interesting and fun accessory. The gears look really well done. The spring-loaded system looks good. It's Mars is giving you things like this that really sets them apart from some of the other third-party companies. You get 5 everlasting gobstoppers, which is one more than was actually used in the film, by the way, because at this point Augustus Gloop was gone. But you do get 5 of them, but you only need one. One is enough for anyone. And they give you 3 head sculpts, 2 with the hat, 1 without. This is kind of just the standard straight ahead looking face. He looks great. I like the fact that the hats are sculpted on because they sit perfectly on his head. Here's basically that same head sculpt, only without the hat. This is what comes installed on the body, obviously, when you open them up. We'll get more into this when we take a little bit closer look at the figure. And finally, the smiling head sculpt. Also very well done. And we'll take a look at all three of these when we get the figure out. Mars has been very generous with this price point. All right, let's take a look at the figure. Wait a minute, not so fast. The Oompa Loompas are telling me I forgot to do the golden egg. Dang it. Anyway, here is the golden egg from when Veruca Salt goes in and wants one, and then turns out she's a bad egg. It looks a lot like it did in the film, where they were kind of wrapped in a foily material. It's high gloss, it's golden. It looks fantastic. It comes with the little plastic stand that you can put the egg on. Originally, I was thinking, really? A little plastic stand? But actually, that's what's in the film. When they are looking at the eggs and the Oompa Loompas are looking over the eggs on the table, it has little plastic stands. Okay, guys, chill out. We've talked about the egg now. Good, everybody's feeling better. Let's get Wonka out here and take a look at him. All right, here's Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka. Closing in on the head sculpt, I've seen Gene Wilder in pretty much every angle of this sculpt. He's kind of got that knowing smirk that Wonka had, the somewhat hooked nose that Gene Wilder had, and really intricately and well sculpted hair that looks like it was done in several pieces and different layers. Especially when you look around the back, you can see the fringings coming off the side, different layers. It's all really, really well sculpted, really, really well detailed. I will say the hair's a little bit darker than Wilder's was in the film. Maybe only a shade or two, but it's definitely a pinch darker. Looking at his costume, the double bow tie, thank God we don't have to tie that. The flowered vest, his jacket. The jacket is a velvety material, but it also has the correct lining, which is kind of a cream with a pattern on the inside. The velvety material of the jacket's a little bit of a dust magnet. The flower print on the vest is extremely well done with the gold buttons. They're held together with micro snaps, so I would not want to undo those. He was wearing a belt underneath to hold his pants up, but I don't think we ever saw that in the film. His pants are that nice mocha color with the pressed seam in the front. They sit correctly on his boots. He's also wearing white socks, but again, I don't think we ever saw that in the film. But the boots are that appropriate 70s kind of style with the elastic on the side. There are no wires in his jacket, either on the front or the back, but he is not a character where he needs dynamic jacket action. You do have the belt on the back of the vest. You have the appropriate stitching around his cuffs and around the collar. That is very accurate to the film. The bow tie gets a little bit fluffy and in the way sometimes, but you can futz with that and get it in control. Looking at the next head sculpt, basically the same as the first, only now he's wearing the hat. I do love the way the hat sits on the head. Talking about the hair for a minute, I was half convinced that maybe they should have gone with rooted hair. It may have looked more realistic in the end. But as his hair gets more and more wild and more out of control, as the film goes on, by the end it's really kind of nuts. I can imagine how having rooted hair on this figure would have been a nightmare. Either styling it back to the start of the film or making it fluff out by the end of the film. I think it would have eventually damaged the figure. The smiling sculpt on this figure looks great. I really, really like the way it looks. The hat sitting the right way. I am overall just so pleased with this guy. If you are a fan of the movie, I don't know how you don't get him. But he looks really good. So now we're going to take a look at the Oompa Loompa he comes with. Here's the Oompa Loompa. He's pretty simple in costume, but it's the Oompa Loompa. They did the same great sculpting work on the hair that they did on Wonka. You can see the curls on the side and the kind of curl on the top, how it folds over on itself. That's exactly how the wigs were in the movie. I love his white eyebrows. But again, it's really well detailed. There's a lot of washes and dry brush work after the initial color. His shirt top is that appropriate orange with the white striping. The suspenders with the buttons in the front. The pants bunch a little bit. They could have probably made him a little thicker, although he does have some kind of cushioned undersuit on the figure. It's not very restrictive, but it's there. The balls on the front of his shoes are that fluffy material like they should be. Matches his socks. And then buttons around the back for his suspenders. He's a fun addition. We're going to get Wonka back out here and take a look at articulation. Okay, so how does this guy move? Let's see here. He looks to the left. He looks to the right. Can look backwards to there. Forwards to there. Tilt left and right. Pretty good movement out of a single ball joint. There he has a butterfly joint in his shoulder. It is very stiff. It does move up and down. Double bend at the elbow. Arms go out to there. Up all the way. The coat barely restricts anything. There is a swivel point at the bicep and a regular hand peg. He does have a crunch at the waist. It's a little stiff and a little restrictive, but not terrible. He'll bend back to there. Pivots a little bit, twists a bit more. His legs will go out to the side to there. We'll go up to there, a surprising amount actually. A very stiff ratcheted knee joint that goes beyond 90, and a swivel point up at the thigh. Boots, you don't get much range of motion. It's on a double ball joint because of the height of the boots, though. You don't get too much articulation. All right, that's Wonka. Let's take a look at the Oompa Loompa. Getting him out here. Same thing with the head. Left and right. Little bit of pivot. Going back to there. Forward to there. His arms with a small butterfly joint. Double bend, but I think the undersuit is restricting it. Twist at the bicep. Out to there. Forward to there. Again, the bodysuit underneath is restricting it a little bit. Very little crunch, if any, at the side. A little bit of twist. Legs go all the way out to the front, though. Very nice. Out to the side there. Pretty decent range. Twist up at the top of the thigh. And a double bend, but again, it's a little restrictive. Feet have a little bit of range of motion. All right, back to Wonka. So I was wondering, who should we compare Wonka to? Well, of course, since he comes with an Oompa Loompa, the first Oompa Loompa was the way to go. And if one Oompa Loompa is good enough, then maybe he'll look better with two Oompa Loompas. And if he looks good with two, why not add a third? Now, with Willy Wonka, you want kids. Right now, the only kids I've got are the Harry Potter kids. So here's Hermione. And if you want to use her as a place setting for Veruca Salt, she fits right in. Look, she got a golden ticket. She's just aces in everything. Okay, final thoughts on this Wonka figure. If you haven't been able to tell, I love him. Is he perfect? Not 100%. Are there a couple things I wish they included? And I almost feel greedy saying that because they included a lot. Yes. I wish the Oompa Loompas had a couple of more hands. I wish the Oompa Loompas had different head sculpts. I hope Mars works on that and offers a kit with a couple of different Oompa Loompa, either expressions or head sculpts, for those of us that bought more than one. I wish some of Wonka's hands were more scene-specific or designed just for Wonka. The one where he holds his head in his hand, which he uses quite a bit throughout the film. But we get just kind of generic ones. I wish the biggest thing is that Mars was able to produce moving eyes on this figure now. Moving eyes on these head sculpts would just move everything to a different level. I understand it's probably beyond them right now, but that would be fantastic. These head sculpts with moving eyes would be next level. Having said all that, I am just thrilled that we got a Willy Wonka figure. Willy Wonka and the 3-member crew of the Orca from Jaws were my absolute dream figures. And now we have Wonka, and Mars has teased they're going to do Jaws. God knows I hope they do. Overall, if you're a Willy Wonka fan, get this figure. You will absolutely not regret it. Thanks for joining me. I do really appreciate it. And if you're new here, please go down and hit that subscribe button. We've got more reviews coming. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.